I think to begin with, a good mentor has to be willing to give the mentee some time. None of us get out of law school knowing how to do very much. We know the concepts, we know how to find things we need, but there's a tremendous amount of practical knowledge about the practice of law that nobody gets out of law school knowing. And they've got to be willing to take the time to do that. At the same time, I think a good mentor finds the right point to turn the mentee loose and let them go on their own.
I think not only presenting things in a simplified way, but I think patience is the key. I think that the mentor needs to be patient with the mentee, and I think the mentee needs to be patient as well.
I began to actually keep a journal about people who I admired and why I admired them. I just literally wrote down what it is about them I admired. And it helped form my view about a lot of things in the professional. So I call those people involuntary mentors, and I had dozens of those. And I would urge young lawyers to do just that. Look at people you admire and try to figure out why in the world do I admire that person? What is it that sets that person apart from other people?
You need to find someone who has walked the path that you're trying to walk so that you can get the advice that you need and the guidance that you need.
And what I've found is that sometimes it has to do with the law, but more often it has to do with just walking beside young attorneys when they come along. Because when a new attorney comes to the courtroom some of the first times, they don't really know the clerks. They don't really even maybe know where to sit, as I didn't know the first time when I was walking into the courtroom. So I think we as attorneys have a responsibility to keep our eyes open for new lawyers who are coming into town and just befriending them. Take time to invite them for a meal. They don't need to be in our firm for us to sit down and talk to them and help them kind of through some of the nervous times. And I've tried to make that as a practice. I've tried to think, what can I do to really help young folks as they come along, young attorneys?
I think mentors are people that they have this easygoingness about them and the ability to listen and connect. And one individual who I only know recently is Mel Wright, who works at the bar. And anyone who knows Mel Wright knows that he has that easygoing nature about him. You can sit down, he immediately makes you feel comfortable. He feels, you feel like he listens, and it welcomes your input. And so I think those that mentor, those that guide or educate or assist others in any aspect or any profession, to include the practice of law, have those qualities, those easygoing, welcoming natures that allows the individual that they're gaining a rapport with to open up and feel comfortable. Mel Wright, I think, is a great example of one.
I comment to young lawyers in our firm who send me long emails. I call them and say, why didn't you just call me and say that or ask me the question? There's something about personal contact. When I would go into Russell Robinson's office and he would say something about the brief I'd prepared or the memo I'd prepared, I could look at his face and tell what he thought. It was typically, I didn't like it, or I didn't like that very well. And there are ways in human interaction to express feelings and reactions that I think are important. I worry about the young lawyers in a setting like Charlotte, where there are thousands of them who don't know each other, who don't talk to each other, and whose only communication is through emails or some sort of impersonal contact, being able to work out some of the more difficult problems without creating huge bills for their clients, without essentially making every molehill into a mountain, which it shouldn't be. That's a difficulty that I think we all need to be concerned about, because this thing could get out of hand to the point that nobody will be able to afford us or want us to try to solve their problems, and that's not a good thing.
And I can remember times in the classroom when a professor would say, now when some of you are in the legislature, this statute is wrong. What the public policy of the state should be is this, and I hope if you get a chance you'll correct it. Or we'd be dealing with a case in which North Carolina had, in their view, the wrong rule from a policy standpoint. And they would say, now, when some of you are on the state Supreme Court, if you get a case in this area, I hope you'll overrule this case and make the rule what it should be. Well, we would look at each other and sort of snicker. You know, we were 22 to 25 years old. None of us were going to be in the legislature, and surely none of us were going to be on the Supreme Court. But 4 members of my class served in the state legislature, and one of us made it to the Supreme Court. Now, whether we got done the things that they suggested ought to be done is another question. I don't remember what they were, but I did get a keen sense, even in law school, that as a lawyer and as a public servant, if I got to be one, as many lawyers do, I had an obligation that getting the legal education I was getting instilled.
Along the way, I think it's very important, especially in our profession, to take a moment and identify those aspiring attorneys, new attorneys, or even older attorneys that practice and need help. I think all of us kind of need a word of inspiration or maybe some experience from a different perspective. So I've been lucky to have had many people inspire and mentor and guide me along the ways. And because of that, I feel the responsibility to also give back.
And a really good exchange occurs. In fact, the mentors often can learn from the mentees by a response they may get that they've never had before.